Most films, not all, but most of my films have been labors of love. I made them because I was interested in what the author had to say, in the author's conception. And I went about very simply in the writing, in the preparation, and finally in the direction of the film, which is only an extension of the writing being simply an extension, elaboration of the idea, a demonstration of it. I don't start off by saying I'm going to make a film, but some idea, some novel, some play suggests itself. Very often it's something that I read 25, 30 years ago or when I was a child. And I've played around with in my thoughts for a long time. Initially, I think there's the requirement to penetrate through to the idea of the book, to determine the meaning of the book. One can only hope that what you do is as close to the original ideas as you can get. I don't think that we can avoid interpretation. By the same token, one doesn't seek to interpret, that is, to put one's own stamp on material. I try to be as faithful to the original as I possibly can, because it's my fascination, it's the fascination that I feel for the original that makes me want to do it into a film. I've written scripts, made pictures out of them in 2 weeks. I've worked for, sometimes a year and a half on a script. Usually, I work closely with the writer or share in the writing. The writer will do a scene and I'll work over it. I'll do a scene, the other writer will work over it. We'll trade them back and forth until we're both satisfied. The dialogue should have as much action in it as physical motion. It's when one's thoughts are occupied, when the audience is fascinated, whether by the word or the motion. The action is really in the mind of the beholder. I conceive the character not in terms of a star's performance. I don't write for a star. I write in terms of the ideal, and then casting, locating the film, all of that is a matter of trying to live up to that ideal. In working with actors, I try to direct for as little as possible, because the more one directs, there's a tendency to monotony. If one is telling each person everything to do, you're going to end up with little replicas of yourself. So when I go about directing a scene, why, I let the actors show me first. I'd rather have someone whose personality lends itself to the role than a good actor who would give you the illusion of being the part. I don't like to see the mechanics of good acting. Some personalities seem to take on another dimension on the screen. They become bigger than they are in life. When that happens, why, there's a star. For instance, I had Marilyn Monroe in her first real film role, and I can't claim to having any notion of where she was headed, but I knew she was going to be good in this film. And I chose her over a number of others. But still, I didn't dream the places she'd go. You're still writing when you're directing. I don't mean you're composing words, but the way somebody raises his eyes or shakes his head is writing for films. I mean, this is rendering in its final subtleties. One looks to the cameraman for the same kind of invention, innovation, imagination that you look to an actor to provide. It's a collaboration. You trust the cameraman. He must understand your intentions, and you trust him to make his lighting enhance those intentions. You don't want to dictate to him exactly what you want, but just the idea, there's the spirit of what you want. The best directed scene, so far as the camera is concerned, the audience isn't aware of what the camera is doing. He doesn't know what's going on mechanically. I think when you become aware of style, you're being separated from the idea. Color itself can be a distraction. I think that some pictures suffer through being in color, unless color plays a functional role in the film. It is a distraction. For instance, a detective's pursuit of a criminal, let's say. Color would have distracted the audience's attention away from that pursuit. I hate the kind of background music that is supposed to decorate a scene, unless the music has a real purpose. And the better the music, usually, the less the audience hears it. I don't believe in overdressing anything. I mean, you know, not language just to hear words spoken, nor a multiplicity of shots when one will do, nor too much music or anything else. Just what is required. It's a principle of art, isn't it?